So, Mary, you say that the family is malignantly dysfunctional. I think that that's accurate. And here's an example. Bear with me with this question. Your brother's child was born with a serious health condition. I believe it was cerebral palsy. Yes?
Yeah,
Is
I'd
that
actually
true?
prefer not to. Yes, I prefer not to
Oh, sorry.
discuss that. Well,
Well, I just wanted to discuss the fact. I just wanted to discuss the fact that they cut the insurance out from
sure.
under
Okay.
the family. Can I talk about
Yes.
that? That's what I wanted to
Yeah,
talk
I'm
about.
sorry. Of
Okay.
course. No, no, no.
So,
Go
so,
ahead.
so, so, okay. You're right that your grandfather promised that he would always have health insurance to take care of the child. But after your grandfather died, the health care coverage was cut off and left your nephew with no insurance. Now, Donald acknowledges that the termination of the insurance was related to the fight over his father's will. That sounds like a
Yeah.
pretty malignant thing to do to a child. And, it's funny because we noticed that he's trying to get rid of Obamacare and pull Medicaid away from people. So there's a kind of an interesting similarity to the childhood. Do you see that as I do? And why can't he empathize with the sick? Is this part of the problem? What is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, we had that health insurance for our entire lives, and the promise came from my Uncle Robert. But yeah, the rescinding of the health care was gratuitously cruel, which is something that the family excels at. But yeah, sure, it goes back all the way to my grandfather, because in in my family, and this can't be emphasized enough, weakness of any kind was fatal. It was a fatal flaw. But it wasn't just weakness of character. Illness was considered weakness. So, which is why my dad, who was an alcoholic, had such a terrible time in the family.
Mary, you've said that your Uncle Donald used anti-Semitic expressions as well as the N-word. And I just want to be clear. Have you heard him use the N-word?
Yeah, not just him. It was. I don't want to say commonplace. It's not like these words and phrases were flung around constantly, but it wasn't unusual in the family.
Well, when you heard him say it, who did he say it about?
Oh, it was just sort of a generalization, not specific. I never, when growing up anyway, I'd never known anybody in my family actually to interact with a person of color.
Wow.
And